Hello, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or visitor, you are very welcome. Now, in the last video, I talked about why I'm no longer retightening my sister locks. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what I'm doing instead. And what I'm doing instead is I'm combining my sister locks. Now, I've never actually counted the number of sister locks, and we didn't count them before setting up the video, so stay till the end and we'll give you a lock count currently, well, what they were before and what they are after combining them. So there are three ways of combining, which I have done on my hair, and I'm going to go through the three different ways of combining. The first method I've called hairline combining, and the reason I called it hairline combining is because I had a lot of very small locks around the hairline area. A lot of them were quite thin, and I thought that as they were growing out they were a little too thin, and with the extra length some of them were looking quite straggly. So what I did was, at root level, I snipped off, and I might have one to show. Yeah, I've got a good one here actually. You can see this one where it's quite thick here, and what I did was, when this was at root level, I had two locks next to each other, snipped one of them near root level, leaving that much of sister lock, undid it and then twisted it round, and then over time, didn't tell my loctician, my sister locks consultant, and then over time it got twisted into the sister lock through the reties. So over time it grew out thick, but this bit here, which you can see, is actually the original thickness of it. So ultimately I've ended up with a thicker sister lock, and I've done that with a few of the ones around the hairline. So that's one method. The second method is plaiting, which we will do some outtakes, but oh, found it. Okay, so I got three individual sister locks side by side and just plaited them, and you can see here that's actually grown out a bit. You can see some of the growth, but yeah, plaited it all the way, and if you look at the end, it's somehow merged together. So there was one long one and two shorter ones, and this one has been washed several times and it seems to have married together, and that seems quite effective. So that's another method I've used. The third method is combining, and that is combining the regrowth. So I've done that in two ways. I've either got two sister locks, and we'll do some pictures on the side on the video. I've got two sister locks and grabbed the regrowth and plaited those together, or I've got three sister locks side by side and plaited the regrowth of those three sister locks together, and maybe wrapped any spare hair. And as I say, I can probably grab a couple that you can have a look at live now. Here is an example of two that have been combined at the root, so you can probably see those, and that's combined using the regrowth. So I've got these two, but they'll grow out as one. And let me see if I can find a threesome. I might not be able to. I should have prepared one earlier. Oh, I think I found one. Yeah. So here we have combined at the root, and as you can see clearly here, three. Yeah. So and as you can see, they're all growing out, all of those methods. So of those three methods, I've decided to stick with the combining the regrowth method, which is the third one. So the first one was the hairline combining, where I actually cut off a sister lock and combined the hair. The second one is a pain. The second one was the plaiting. I've only done one. And the third one was combining the regrowth, either combining two sister locks or combining three sister locks and combining the roots. So the regrowth only, not the actual sister locks themselves. And I've decided to use that method all over, That said, there are one or two stragglers. I'll show you. Let's see if I can find one. Where are we? Okay, hang on. Furiously looking around. Probably one at the back. Let's see. There we go. And as you can see here, we've got one, and she's all by herself. And that's just because the ones around it are already combined, and this wasn't a perfect science. I used to sit down and do this while I'm watching TV. So in time, as that grows out, I'll just combine it with a neighbouring one. So it will be three or four. But when it grows a bit more, just so I'm not putting any tension on the root. There is also a fourth method that I have heard of, which another YouTuber is using. I don't know her name, so I can't send you there. And what she's done is she's grabbed a few locks, micro locks, and then wrapped synthetic hair around them. But that's not really something for me, because I'm not really into using synthetic hair. A few issues with synthetic hair. So back to my preferred combining method, I also have an aloe vera spray, which I've made. I keep it in the fridge. It's 50% aloe vera, 50% water. Keep it in the fridge, which preserves the life of it, and I spray it all over. It just softens it and just makes it feel, in fact I gave this a good spray earlier, and it just gives it a nice feel. It's not too greasy, means it's not dry, and just so that you're combining when the hair's not dry. You can do it when it's dry if you prefer, or when it's damp after you've used an aloe vera spritz or another spritz of your choosing. So those are the three methods. As you can see, this is very much something that is in progress. I'm going to see how it goes. As I've said, I've got a few stray ones that are not combined, but I will combine them in time once I have more regrowth. So those are the three methods. We're also now going to share the lock count. So the lock count as it was before the combining, and the lock count as it is after the combining, and we'll put those on screen for you to see. So thank you very much for staying with us for this video. Please like, share, comment and subscribe, and look forward to seeing your comments or sharing your experiences. It's always nice to hear what others are doing, and to create a learning space from this. So look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.